What's going on? It's me, Alexlexus, doing a little surprise mini short. Coming at you with mini short of April 12th, 2014. Um, Part of me is at a loss for words, and I'll tell you why. I'm pretty sure most of you know that the new Fighting Order, NMO, and Fighting Game League, we are WWE fans, and you know, I, like Alpha Omega Sin, wanted to wait a little bit until more information surfaced on my little, I would say, emergency or hot topic mini short. But it it's a great sadness that if you don't know, yeah, those who don't know about the passing of James Hellwig, aka the Ultimate Warrior, has been living under a rock because this man, to me, back in when I was younger, this man was like second to Hulk Hogan. Like he was the alternate guy. Like Hulk Hogan, I know, at the Sky Dome, passed the torch on to Warrior to kind of keep that same superhero esque look or image that Vince McMahon was going for back in those days. And it's like, wow, you know, man was 54 years young, and it looked like, wow, I'm in shock. I really am. Like if normally I'm a little more fluid with coming up with my delivery. I don't even have a script for this mini short, but it's just I'm just speaking from here. Now, most of you guys are gonna go say, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah, sports entertainment." Yes, we know this. It's almost as if some folks are watching a soap opera or watching a reality show. Over the years, you become attached to some of these characters that they portray, and you actually begin to care for them. And you know, over the years, I remember that whole segment on Ultimate Warrior's insane, blah blah blah. I thought he was cool. To me, he was like, if He-Man were real, that it would be the Ultimate Warrior. You know what I mean? He had the look. He had that comic book. He was like a walking superhero. Him, Hulk Hogan, and a couple others. But this man was it for the longest time. Now, you know, the reality of it, yes, his wrestling skills may have not been on the level of like a Bret Hart or Kurt Angle or Chris Benoit, but the man knew how to entertain. Once the beat drops and you hear the Ultimate Warriors theme music, everybody stood up. It was just like, man, here he comes, here he comes. I remember there was a match. Hulk Hogan was getting the brakes beat off of him, and Warrior had been gone for a period of time. And then all of a sudden, you hear the bass drop, dun, 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 and everybody's like, what the fuck? And then here he comes, full speed ahead. I'm like, oh my god. And then the Ultimate Maniacs and, his team up with Macho Man Randy Savage and, with various stars. It's just rather unfortunate that such a gem that was the Ultimate Warrior is gone. Like, as I am here deployed, there's been a lot of passings, like with Nelson Mandela, you had freaking Paul Walker and all that. I mean, it's just for the younger audience, this is actually taking a more serious approach. Just know that dying is a part of life. You know, something must end so new things can begin. And now he's in the wrestling ring in the sky with Owen, Bulldog, Eddie, and the list goes on. It's just rather unfortunate. But one thing I will say, it's funny. It's funny how, yeah, Ultimate Warrior wasn't like, from what we've read about him, wasn't the easiest person to get along with. Same like Shawn Michaels. Like there was a time where they just were difficult. Okay. However, the one thing I respect about people is the fact that their ability to forgive. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself when it comes to that. In my military career, in my personal life and whatnot. But one thing I will say that all the bridges that were seemingly burned. It was great to hear that he made peace with Hulk Hogan. It was great to see that he was just living life and being happy. Because believe it or not, I do my research on my heroes per se, and he was one of them. And I just hope that, like, how I have newfound respect for Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, where they made peace. I'm glad that Ultimate Warrior was able to do the same, and seeing how that priceless picture with him and Vince McMahon hugging during the Hall of Fame induction, and you know what, rightfully so. I mean, that was a great send off for James Holloway. I mean, just to see him make it to the Hall of Fame, return home to WWE, and that last time that we saw him on Raw, I mean, it's almost I felt that he knew something was up, and my family, my mom's side of my family, they're a bunch of nurses. My aunt has a nursing school. My mom's a state nurse, and one thing that in their studies is to see the signs, and it looked like he came in there knowing something was up, and I think that's what was kind of what forged his final message to the WWE universe. And it looked like he was suffering from that heart attack, like in stages, and then that massive heart attack before he collapsed. So it was just wow, But I also heard some comments about Nancy Grace making some insensitive or indifferent comments about steroids and drugs. Miss Grace, unless you know, shut the fuck up. Like, really. You know what I mean? People are in mourning, and this man impacted the lives of a lot of people. Just go by what he said. I mean, I'm not going to misquote him, but, this man did his thing. You know what I mean? Let's celebrate the good that he's done and not focus on during the time of steroids and so on and so forth. There are a lot in the 80s who admittedly, made statements saying that, hey, that's what they did before it was illegal. So I don't think that should be held against him or thrown out there. So, Miss Grace, check yourself, really. Right? But to his daughters, his two daughters and his wife, my condolences to them. And, the memory of Ultimate Warrior is going to live on forever. That I am certain. I am certain because the type of character that he portrayed uh, has been immortalized. Okay, so moving on, I made a point in reference to things must end so new things can begin. Oof, now shifting back into asshole Alexlexus mode. What the fuck is up with this streak shit? I have to say, and one of my colleagues from our podcast is probably gonna be at odds with me with this. And when I get back, it's gonna be like that healthy me and Demizo going back and forth. But I always respect Demizo's opinion. I'll hear him out, but I just know that this we're going to agree to disagree. First, Undertaker's Streak, another one of my heroes, if not the one that I regard as the hero that stood the test of time, going against the new generation and so on. 21 years of legacy, and then got tarnished by this bullshit. Now, I think Alpha Omega Sin and a couple other podcasters we've pretty much have the same. I'm trying to find the words. We have the same view that Brock Lesnar had nothing to gain from this win. Nothing. And to think that it was something as illustrious as the streak that was greater than any title that you had in the WWE, you give it to a part-timer, probably wrestles 4 times a year. Brock is going to disappear for a while, and then what? What is it now that you're going to give to the new generation? Like Roman Reigns should have been the one to do it. Because it's no secret that the enforcer of the Shield is going to be the new face of WWE. Or hell, some folks are gonna say, Alex Lexus, you're fucking crazy, but give it to John Cena. John Cena is the modern day Hulk Hogan. despite if you love him or hate him, and I'm not a big fan of Cena, but that man works his fucking ass off. And for him to just be stuck in a match with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, like, wow. Hey, it's to my understanding that only 6 people in WWE knew what the outcome was going to be, right? There's rumors also floating around that they changed the script at the last minute. I mean, everything is speculation until we know for sure. Now Taker's in the hospital with a freaking concussion and all this other stuff because we know Brock Lesnar is a sloppy wrestler. Everybody gives right back bullshit, but Brock Lesnar is a UFC guy, and I fucking wrestled too for 6 years. You know what I mean? And had I not had my back injury, I probably would have done what my cousin, George is doing in wrestling school. Because that's something I considered. But I would just say this: Brock Lesnar did not deserve that win. Bottom line, there's so many candidates that should have taken it. Now, I know that Undertaker did indeed, for years, want that streak to end. He's asked several people to do it, and I know Cena being one of them. Like, out of respect, I don't want to be the guy. So that goes to show you what type of respect that Brock has for that best business. We know Brock is not going to be around for too long. Taker, he might as well retire. But what I fail to understand is it should have gone one of two ways. The streak remain intact and let him retire with it, which would make him unique. The streak is what made Undertaker special, and you took it from him. Okay? Now, it could have been also a thing where Taker's like the pressure to come back every year and defend it. Like, I haven't seen WrestleMania yet, and you guys know because I'm here in freaking Afghanistan. Like, we get everything a little bit late, and it's funny. The night that WrestleMania was supposed to air here, the cable went down. So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And to get WWE Network out here would be kind of stupid because the internet is pretty slow. So, it, enough of my ranting on that. But it's like, man, you know what? Now I don't want to watch it. I heard that the commentary wasn't all that great for the Taker's match. It's almost as if they were in on it. They knew. JBL, who's the freaking Vince McMahon's little marionette puppet and shit. It's like, get the fuck out of here. The way they handled this streak thing was really, 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 really poor. They wasted it. I mean, Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, he said it best. Like, this was a waste. It was a freaking waste. They could have done this so much better. Now, I'm an Undertaker fan, die hard. And just like that Undertaker guy that picked the memes flying around and stuff, I would say that what happens now? Now they signed Sting, and how is this going to be a major draw? They're going to have to be really clever with this one, And I'm hearing that Taker wasn't in the best cardio shape for the match with Brock. Maybe for the style of match that he was going with, but with all things considered, if this is Undertaker's last match, I mean, I'm glad that he got the respect going out. And Undertaker, I guess, if he felt it was best for business to drop the streak to Brock, I wonder how Brock is going to pay that forward to a next up-and-coming superstar. I would love to see Roman Reigns be the guy that gets vindication for this, But it is what it is. All things come to an end, just like life. It has a beginning, it has an end. But being that the storytellers and the writers for WWE, how are they gonna wrap their heads around this? There will never be another streak again. That's without question. There will not be a streak as illustrious as this. 2 decades in a year. 21-1. Man, that looks like somebody goes to a painting and put a freaking streak on it or a blemish on it, and it, a lot of the younger folks aren't gonna look at all the victories Taker had. He's gonna be remembered that he's the guy that lost to Brock Lesnar. It is what it is, and I speculate that when Taker was at the octagon when Brock got his ass whooped by Cain Velasquez, I I think when Taker said, "Do you want to do it?" when he was trying to get Brock's attention, I think then it was a plan for Brock to break the streak. Make what you will of it, but I think that for the longest time he was handpicked to be the guy to do it. But no respect for the business, Brock. I'm sorry. You're not even there full time. You know what I mean? And then you agreed to break his streak. I mean, man, I give CM Punk a lot of respect because there were even talks of him doing it. Hey, no, out of respect. You know what I mean? And DeMizzo and I usually we go back and forth on CM Punk, but one thing I will say is that I respect him for not wanting to be that guy. You know what I mean? But man, the only thing that's keeping me mildly interested in WWE right now is Daniel Bryan, and that's I'll probably watch it on YouTube or on WWE's website or something. I refuse to purchase the network after this. I'm like, there's gonna be a little WWE blackout for me until this kind of heals, and then on top of that, compounded by the more serious issue with Ultimate Warrior's death, it's just like, man. Mm. But this is just me giving my 2 cents, but especially on the streak, you guys, let me know what your comments are below, your thoughts. Like, could they have done this differently? You know what I mean? Taker, that's what made him special. He gave it up, or they took it from him. But Brock shouldn't have been the guy. He does not deserve it. He's not at that legendary status in my eyes yet. That's subjective. You know, I see up and comers from NXT. Like, hell, Roman Reigns or Cena. That should have been it right there. One of those two. And that would have helped elevate Roman Reigns' career, and then Cena like further cement his place in history. But it is what it is. So this is just part one. I'm actually gonna hit you guys with like a little review on Strider and Ninja Gaiden Z Yaiba. I actually got those off of Steam, so I will see you for those who wants to join me for that segment of the mini short. So this has been Alexlexus hitting you from Afghanistan. Some updates. I will be home soon. It's coming towards the end. Uh, I'm within the 90-day window, and you know I can't wait to join the team again. Nelson, Newt, DeMizzo, on your knees. You guys, Shin Jackman. Yeah, Shin Jackman. You guys have been doing great work. I appreciate you being a part of this thing. And once we get on TV in Brooklyn, PA, and New York, is gonna be some a thing to behold. So please continue to support and help the New Fighting Order. We're growing, and I guess our message is getting out there that you know you help us, and we'll produce a better product for you. All right. So this has been Alex Lexus coming at you, and I'll be back. I'll be back like the Juggernaut, bitch. July 3rd ish, or a little in the first week. All right. So I'll see y'all later. Peace.